Hey everybody, Michael Fabiano here. I'm commissioner of the Fabiano Invitational Celebrity League, sponsored by Sling TV. If you're not familiar with the league, Sling TV is donating $21,000 to charities chosen by the league members. First place gets $8,000, second place gets $3,000, and each team gets $1,000 just for participating. Thank you, Sling TV, so much for your generosity. And one of the members of the Fabiano Invitational Celebrity League is joining me right now. It is my good friend, actor, the great Jerry O'Connell, who is currently 5-3 and in fourth place. J.O., how are you, my friends? How are you feeling about your team? Fantasy is fundamental.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I mean, I'm in the playoffs, so that's something. I'm in another league where I'm not even close to being in the playoffs. So as long as you're in that playoffs hunt, I feel pretty good about my team. I feel pretty good. Had a really tough loss this last week. One of those one-pointers, just nightmare. I'm still not over it. It haunts me. It takes years to get over those. Like, I will remember Evan Ingram not catching that one pass with like 30 seconds left. And it's seared into my memory. It's going to take years for me to forget it.
Your poor children must have been getting yelled at all week because of that, I'm sure, right?
I do take it out on my family can tell when I lose in fantasy. They go, like around Sunday or Monday, they're like, you lose in fantasy again? And I'm like, yeah, zip it.
Let's talk about something on the positive side. Your team is doing well. As I mentioned, you're 5-3. Your big waiver wire out of the year is Cordero Patterson. I've been trying to get him off your roster all season. You will not budge. You are a smart man. Talk about what Patterson's meant to your team this year.
Well, first of all, I don't know what it is in other leagues, but in our Yahoo league, he is a running back wide receiver. So you can plug him in anywhere. So that's invaluable, especially in our league, which has, I believe, 4 flex spots, right?
Right. Yep.
So I do that thing where I have players who play the earliest in my slots that they get locked in. So the specific slots, the RB, the wide receiver. That way, in your flexes, if there's a late game scratch, you can plug anybody in there.
Right.
CP, it's one of those players that you don't even think about. I mean, you just set it and forget it. He's in there every game. He doesn't fail. He catches so many passes. This is everything you want out of a running back. He's just, not since I picked up Marquis Colston. Yeah, that's how old I am.
Oh, that's old school. That's right.
Since I picked up Marquis Colston, who was also another tight end / I believe he was a tight end the year I won, and then he ended up being a wide receiver. Not since Taysom Hill last year was a tight end for me.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and now
I've been so blessed with such a versatile player, very talented player, very honored to have him on my team.
Yeah, Taysom also now looks like he's going to be back as a starting quarterback for the Saints this week, so that's a good ad for fantasy managers.
Sadly, no longer listed as a tight end.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. Should have never been listed as the tight end. Justin Herbert, I know you have him in multiple leagues. You're playing him against me. Sorry to bring this up. He hasn't been great the last couple of weeks. How do you feel about him this week against the Eagles?
I don't feel confident. I do not feel confident. I don't feel confident. I don't know what to say. Maybe it's just me and how I play fantasy and this, I play scared fantasy. People shouldn't listen to me. I get scared putting players in. I'm not aggressive. I don't feel confident about Justin Herbert. And I say that as a Chargers fan. I don't know what to say. These last 2 weeks with him have been tough, man. That Baltimore game where they just scored 6 points offensively, that's a killer. It's a season killer. It's a season killer. Week 6, your quarterback's offense only scores 6 points. Mm-hmm. It's just tough. I'm not feeling very confident right now. I was really thinking about selling him this week.
Could be a high-scoring game though against Philadelphia. I think he'll be fine. By the way, I feel like Jerry Seinfeld. I mean, we're talking about like fantasy football in cars. All we need is a little coffee. You're playing for the charity Reading is Fundamental. Talk about why you chose that charity.
When I was a kid, I just remember all those Riff commercials, and it's been a charity that when I am involved with anything for raising money for charity, I always go with Riff. And I also thought Fantasy is Fundamental was an amazing fantasy team name.
Great name.
I've changed all my other leagues to Fantasy is Fundamental.
Well, J.O., not only are you a great actor, you're a great man, you're a great fantasy football player as well. Thanks so much for joining me, and thanks again to Sling TV for sponsoring the Fabiano Invitational Celebrity League. Make sure you all keep checking out Sling on social media. We'll be doing these interviews throughout the regular season and into the fantasy playoffs. And Jerry, I'd wish you good luck, but that would mean that you'd beat me, which I'm 3-5 and I need to win. So good luck in the rest of your leagues.
I got to say, if you go by projections, and I know you never go by projections, Michael, but you are supposed to win this by about 30 points this weekend.
Well, I have scored the second most points in the league, and I have the most points scored against me. So I'm still in the playoffs. Regardless, hopefully this is the first time of 2 matchups that we have right now, and then when we get into the postseason. But J.O., thanks again for your time, my friend.
Hold
right, what do we got?
What am I like when I lose in fantasy football? How does it affect? Am I rude to you when I lose in fantasy football? How rude am I?
He doesn't let us go on our phones, and he makes us relax.
Well, now I almost feel bad about beating you this week, because then the kids are going to suffer.
He says he's going to beat me in fantasy football. Do you think that? What? Get out of here!
I love it. Great job. Love you, brother. All right, take care.